Hello, I'm Ignace from toleratecinematics.com, and today I will be showing you how to create this fire looking introduction that I've uploaded a while ago on my channel. So this is a preview of this tutorial, so let me play this for you. Okay, so this is what we're going to create without the background. So we're just going to focus on the fire just for the sake of the tutorial, so it doesn't last too long. The background is just messing around a little. We're going to just focus on the text and the animation on the text and the revealing of the text and the fire with the fire particles. So for this tutorial we'll need two things. First of all, After Effects, of course, but you'll need the plugin called Trapcode Particular, and you will need one more thing, and that's from videocopilot.com. On his website he had made a tutorial on how to do the portal effect. In that project file there is a smoke loop video, so we are going to use that loop video to create the fire particles to create realistic fire. I hope Andrew Kramer doesn't mind me using some of his footage for my tutorial, but of course he seems like a nice guy, so I don't think he minds too much as long as I keep him in the video and give him the credits for it. If you don't know about Video Copilot and you're learning After Effects, then you should really be ashamed, because it's one of the best training videos that he makes on his website. I've learned a lot on this website myself when I started using Adobe After Effects, so be sure to check out his website. Okay, so once you've downloaded that file from the portal, you will see a smoke loop file in there. So let me just show you over here. So this is the loop file that he used for his tutorial, and we are going to use this as a particle to recreate the preview that I have right here. So we are going to focus on just this that you will see right now. Okay, so this is what we're going to be learning in this tutorial, and the other things you will have to add on yourself and look for that afterwards. So basically how we are going to get started is by creating a new composition. I'm going for a full HD composition, so 1920 by 1080p and a frame rate of 25, and I'm going to make it just 5 seconds long. So and there we go, and I'm going to rename this to Fire Introduction. There we go, and then click OK. And then what we are going to do is take our smoke loop and drag it onto this create new composition icon. That will create a new composition for our smoke loop, so we can add and we can create a fire looking effect on this smoke. So it's really easy to do that. So just click on the smoke loop, go to Effect, and then go to Color Correction, Colorama. Colorama is an awesome plugin that comes with After Effects itself, and it's used for doing stuff like what we are going to do right now. So in the input phase, you make sure that it's both to intensity, and then we go to the output cycle. It will change this just to fire. And there we go, we have our fire element. If you think some things are like not bright enough, like these are the high tones and they should be a little bit brighter, you can just delete a few and then move around and just play with these and then just drag it over here. And you can see right now the highlights are getting more and more white. So I'm just going to do this just a little bit and personalize my fire just a little. Okay, so you don't need all the colors, it's not too much of a deal. Okay, we're going to delete this one and move this one over here, and there we go. So now this looks like fire to me. Maybe a little bit too dark over here, so there you go. Okay, I'm messing up right here. Okay, so this is looking pretty good, I guess. Maybe I'll Command Z a little while. Okay, I'm just going to keep it this way, and this one looks the best. Okay, so once we have our smoke loop, you can go to Composition Settings. We're going to rename it to Fire Loop, and then hit OK. Then go back to your Fire Introduction composition. That's the tab next to it right now. And then we are going to right click, New Solid, and just to be sure, we are going to create a background with a black color, make comp size and hit OK. Then we're going to create a new, right click, new, solid. And we're going to rename this to particles fire. Well, no, fire particles. More logic. Well, actually we don't need particles, just fire, because the particles we are going to create them afterwards. Just to keep things clear, we're going to rename this like this. I'm also going to change the color to something like a fire color, and that's just personal, my personal opinion. It's easier to have an overview on my composition this way, so I'm going to hit OK. Then we're going to effect video, no video Copilot. We're going to effect Trapcode Particular, and there we go. So now we go to the project file and then just import the fire loop right here. So bam. Okay, close this thing down. We don't need to see it. It's just it just needs to be in the composition so we can use it as a particle. Then we click back on the fire layer over here, go to effect and go to emitter. So we're going to change a few things over here. So the first thing we want to change is the position X and Y. Well, first of all, I'm just going to drag this layer over a bit so you can see that the particles are already born, so we can it's easier to animate it. So we are going to lengthen it back to its regular size, and then we're going to animate our position X from all the way left. If you hold shift, it will move a lot quicker. And there we go. Create a new keyframe and then move back 3 seconds, let's say, and move this all the way to the right. And there we go. Okay, so once you've that, we can alt click on the position XY, and we are going to add a simple wiggle animation, and what that's going to do is randomly change the position from a value that we are going to enter in right now. So if you type wiggle, open parentheses, and you type 7, so 7 times a second, it's going to move 70 pixels randomly. So there we go. If we click away, then we have this expression set and go. So now if you can see, our particles are moving randomly in space. So we've done that. So now what we have to do is animate the particles per second so they come in right over here. Well, we don't need to do this right now. We can do this later on if you want to. So we can close up emitter. So now we are going to the particle settings, change the life to just 1 second, and change the life random to let's say 50%. The particle type, we're going to change this to a sprite, and then the texture file, we're going to take the fire loop that we just created. So fire loop over here. Okay, click OK. And we need to create this as a 3D layer, so just for to be sure, fire loop. Okay. I don't think we need to create a 3D layer of this. Well, we'll see. Oh no, we don't. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. And then go to time sampling and just change this to started birth and loop. So now it's going to play the length of the composition and then just loop it over again once it's done playing. So once you've done that, you can go to rotation, and we're going to add a little bit of random rotation over here. So let's say like random rotation of 25, I guess. Should do fine. Okay, and that's good to go. We can close these up right now so we don't need them. The opacity, we're going to change this to 80, and the opacity random to 25. The size of these things, you can see they're too small, so we are going to change this to 250 or something like that, and you will see immediately that we have created fire. Okay, but as you can see, the fire composition is using the background as well. So what we want to do is go to the transfer mode, change this to screen. If you like add better, you can use add, but I prefer screen for this example over here. So other things we want to do is change the size over life. We will change the second option over here at the particle settings. Okay, so let's see what we have to do next. Opacity over life, we're also going to change it to the third option over here. And we're getting some nice fire over there. So if you want to change the size random, I would say like 50% or so. So you have some random sizes of fire. Okay, it says it himself. Okay, so the rotation is good to go. And we're done here, I guess. Okay, so close particles as well. Go to physics. And now we're going to, let's add a little bit of gravity because fire is going, it uses a little gravity. So I'm going to change it to a -10. It's not going to do a big deal on it, but it's, I think it looks a little bit better. And then we are going to the air and then go to turbulence field and change the effect position to 20. Okay, so now what we want to do is I'll close this down and preview what we have so far so we see what we're working with. It's looking already pretty good, I guess, but we want to change a few things. Okay, there we go. So this is our fire, and in my opinion the wiggle is going a little bit too fast. So what I'm going to do is click on the fire layer, press U on the keyboard, and then edit this wiggle expression to, let's say, 4 times a second. And it won't move 70 but 50. Okay. And this is looking a little bit better, I guess. Okay, so if you're working with a background, you want to toggle the switches if you don't see the mode, and you want to change this to add or screen again. So no, we're not working with a background, so we don't need to do this, but I'm already going to do this for if I'm deciding to add a background layer on, because now it doesn't do anything wrong with the project. So click back to fire, and now we are going to add a few other things above the particle effect. So we are going to effect blur and fast blur. We're going to add a blur of 2%, just because nothing is really sharp. So for a little bit more realism. Then we're going to add a effect stylized glow. We want to change the threshold over here to, let's say, 90, and let's change the radius to 25. And we can leave the intensity at 1. So that's all we have to do for the glow one. Let's rename this to glow 1, and then close these things down, and then click on the glow 1 and hold Command D on the keyboard, and that will duplicate the effect. And now we want to change a few things over here. So the threshold, get it down at 80%, and then we want to add a radius of 250 instead of 25. And that's going to give a nice glow around our fire over here. So that's what we have to do for that. And now we should have a nice fire effect already. But I see the fire doesn't stay on long enough. So I'm just going to change the life a little bit longer. So click back to particular, and go to particle, and change the life to, instead of 1 to 1.5 or so. It's all your opinion, so whatever you like. I'm going to change the size as well to 150, I guess. Okay, maybe 200. Okay. This is what I like. Another thing is I'm going to change the life random to 25. Okay, and there we go. So let's preview this. Okay, so I ran previewed it, and we'll play this back. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. If you want to change a few things, it's all up to you. Maybe change the life, or maybe change the velocity, and that's something that I didn't like. It's a velocity. I forgot to change this. I changed the velocity to 50 instead of 100, and the velocity random and distribution. Okay, the rest is fine. But you can see now the fire isn't spreading as much as it did before. So I'm going to preview this again and see what we got now. Okay, so I didn't RAM preview it completely, but it's just to get a basic idea of what we've created, and there we go. So this is looking a lot more like fire, so this is what I like. If you want to change the life a little bit longer, you can do that, and then the fire will last a little longer. So what I'm going to do right now is duplicate this fire layer by holding Command D or going to Edit Duplicate. And then I'm going to uncheck this fire first and rename the new fire to fire particles. And here I'm also going to change a few things. So first of all, I'm going to change the particles per second by 300, and I'm going to change the emitter type to box. Then here at emitter size, I will change it to 50, to 50, and 50 again. So this is what we need. Then we can close up emitter and go to the particle type, and we're going to change this to sphere instead of sprite, so we don't need the cloud anymore and the smoke element anymore. Okay, I can't talk anymore. So we don't need the smoke element anymore, and we're gonna change the size to 2 instead of 200. And there we go. Now one more thing we want to change is set color. At birth we want to change this to overlife. So then open up color overlife, and we want to change this to this third option. And then what we want to do is click on the first one, go to an oranges highlight color, something like this. And then for the second one we want to use a more orange kind of color. And for the last one we want to use a red orange color, something like this. And now we have our particles. Well, live random. I'm going to set this to 100, I guess, and the emitter 300 is a bit much, so there you go. Okay, maybe change the size random up to 100 instead of 50, and there we go. So this is what I like. Again, change it if you want to. For the rest, we don't have to animate anything else, and then just check on the fire again, and now you can see we have some nice fire particles on the background. So last, what we want to do is add a text on the background over here. So we're going to create a new layer, text, and we want to type in something useful, so tolerate cinematics. Then I'm going to change this to big noodle titling. You can choose whatever type text you want. And then I'm going to move this a little bit more down, just so you can see it fits the line of fire that passes through. Now what we want to do is go to layer, pre-compose, and we want to pre-compose this text. Move all attributes into new composition, okay, and change this to title. Now it will be easier if you want to change something on the text, and I just like to work this way. If we want to add something later on, we don't really need it right now, but yeah, you understand what I'm trying to say. So go to effect, go to color correction or generate, go to generate fill, and we want to change this color to a orange kind of color. So my color that I've written down is E07307, and then hit OK. So I'm going to use this color. Then I'm going to effect, stylize, and glow. I'm going to change the threshold to 80, the radius to 10, and the intensity to 0.5. Then I'm going to duplicate this glow effect. I'm going to change this to a 40 threshold, a radius of 250, and an intensity of 1. I'm going to change the original color to A and B color. And the colors I'm going to pick are some mid-tones and low tones. So an orange one, something like this, and a dark orange one, something close to red. And there we go. So now we have this over here. And I want to change something here. Well, no, I'm going to keep it this way, and we're going to move our tile behind the fire. And now you can see that changing the mode to screen really helps a lot, because if you change it back to normal, you'll see you won't be able to see your text. So now you have to change this to screen, so we can see the text. Move the title a little bit more downwards, something like this, and let the text pass on it. Okay, so I'm gonna click on the text on the title, and I'm going to create a mask, a rectangular tool, and I'm going to select the fire over here, and then hit M on the keyboard to reveal the mask path. Click on a new keyframe, move forwards until it passes through the text, and we're going to move it again. Okay, move it again with the text and with the fire, but make sure that it's in the rear side, it just stays on the same position. So there we go. And now we see it animates on with the fire over here. If you move it, the keyframes a little, you'll see and I have more control on how long it stays on the screen or how fast it's revealing itself. So another thing we want to do is click on the title, press F on the keyboard, and increase the feather to, let's say, 100. And now you can see there is a nice feather transition from the text to the fire, but I can see that it's revealing a little bit too fast, so I'm going to bring this mask down a little. Okay, so there we go. And this is what I want, so looking pretty cool. Okay, so on the first keyframe I see that I didn't move back enough, so I'm going to select the first 2 points and move them back a little, just so you can see you can't see the text anymore. Okay, and now we can move this back in just like this. Okay, so we have the text animating on, and one last thing we want to do is add the effect that actually fire is revealing the text with some heat effect, and that we're going to do by using a displacement. So I'm going to create a new layer, an adjustment layer, and I'm going to rename this by holding the return key, pressing the return key, and I'm going to rename this to displace. Then I'm going to move this just above the title, and make sure you have the same order of layers that I do. And now what we want to do is go to Effect, and then go to where is it here? Okay, I always use it. Okay, distort. I always use the effects and presets, and I search my effects. But if you don't know the names quite good, it's maybe easier to use this like this way. Click on the turbulence displays, and we want to change the amount of the turbulence displays to 50 and 15. And there we go. So as you can see right now, it's displacing the text a lot. And we want to all click on the evolution and write time times 250, and that's going to change the evolution over time. So it's going to move to 50 each on the complete time. Every second it's going to rotate to 50%, and it's going to keep counting. So what that does is animating the displacement, so it actually wobbles a little bit. Okay, so now what we want to do is again choose our rectangle tool, but this time I'm going to choose the ellipse tool and go around the fire like this. Hold space to move your mask, and there we go. And I'm going to press F on the keyboard once I selected the displacement layer, and I'm going to increase this again to, let's say, 100, so we have some feather and it doesn't chuckle up. And then I'm going to press M on the keyboard while this layer is selected, and again create a new keyframe for the mask path. Then press V on the keyboard to change to the move tool, and then I'm going to move it right to the fire, and once it passed on the text, I'm going to make sure that it's actually following the fire, but actually the last part of the fire. So we can see right over here we have just a little bit of animation of the turbulence. So here you can see it actually is using this, but I don't like the amount. I'm just going to change it to 25, I guess, or 35, let's say, and this is looking a little bit better in my opinion. So let's preview what we have right now. Okay, so I have been previewing this, and let's see what we have got right now. Whoosh. Okay, so that looks pretty badass in my opinion. We have some nice fire revealing the text of our video. So basically this is my tutorial on how to create the fire revealing text. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please give it a like. It would be really nice. Also be sure to subscribe on my channel, because I'm going to upload more tutorials in the future, and I also upload some nice shorts and stuff like that. So if you like this video, just make sure you subscribe for further tutorials. Also like me on Facebook if you want to keep up to date of previews of next tutorials, on opinions on next tutorials or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye. Also, one more thing. If you have created something with Fire tutorial, you can always post a video response of what you have accomplished using this effect. Yeah, it would be nice for me to see what people are doing using my tutorials. I always like to watch those things. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, goodbye.